expect anything like people just running up and like whatever. That was just crazy. Yeah, we're here today to talk about games journalism. So it's more than just reviewing, guys. There's a whole bunch of stuff going with it. Like you've got, feature writing. You've got, interviewing, all these great things. And I've got 3 people here today who've lived the dream, been there, done that, and lived to tell the tale. We have Duong from Level 3 here. Give him a round of applause, come on.
Hello, everyone.
We have Clarke, who writes for the Sunday Herald Sun.
Oh, even better, I have a portable one now. Haha. And we also have Nathan Cox from PC Powerplay. So it seems like, yeah, awesome. So, sorry? All right, let's sort of begin with sort of origin stories. So let's talk about how you guys sort of started out being journalists. Donald, do you want to start off?
Well, my story isn't really the sort of tale. I kind of accidentally tripped and landed into the whole games journalism thing. I originally started doing a segment on the morning show for the local community radio station, Student Youth Network. Has anyone here heard of that? Good, a couple of people have. Yeah,
Represent!
Damn straight. Anyways, yeah, I was doing a segment for them for video games, about 10 minutes. Next year, I expanded that to about a full-hour program called Single Player for the Student Youth Network. That went for about half a year. During which time I interviewed Jamie and Jason from Level 3, which is how I ended up there, which for them now I help record reviews, I do their fortnightly podcast, and I help a whole bunch in the behind the scenes. As well as I also write for this online student journalism website called newshit.com.au, formed by a couple of students around the Monash University's Caulfield campus. I write game reviews for them. So really, I'm just at the very start of what one could describe as a games journalism career. I still have a fair way to go, but I have a lot of things I'm doing at the moment.
All right, Alice?
Well, I started writing for medical journals when I was a kid because I'm a giant nerd, and eventually kind of worked my way up, knew I wanted to be a journalist. Ended up writing an article for The Age during year 12, which was slightly random. I bumped into a guy on a train and we started talking about journalism. I ended up writing for them.
What was the article?
On Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No.
And why it's awesome. Yeah.
And now you know she's a nerd.
Yes, utter nerd. And yeah, became a full-time freelance journalist from there. That was 4 years ago. And I have no idea how I became a game journalist. I just
fell into it.
Yeah, fell into it. I ended up becoming the game and tech reviewer for Sunday Herald Sun. I also write for their TV guide section. And yeah, it's pretty good.
Awesome. Nathan?
Yeah, look, I'm surprised so many of us are falling into this position. I'm a big gamer, obviously. About 10 years ago, I realised none of my friends were, so I started posting on computer game forums, like I'm sure many of you do. During that time, I got into an argument with then editor of PC Powerplay, David Wildgoose, and this is the point at which the audience turns on me. I don't like Metroid Prime. I think it's a pretty ordinary game.
Start running.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work for me. He did. We got into a massive argument, well, when I say massive argument, big discussion about it. I get an email a couple of days later saying, you argued well, ever thought of writing for the magazine? Submitted an article, and 6 years on, I'm still writing for them. So, yeah, pretty much fell into the position myself as well.
I guess I could probably talk about my one, but no one really cares about me. It's basically just falling into it as well. I got asked by Jason to come do some stuff for Level 3, and one thing after another, I started a podcast, started a reviewing for the show, nothing too exciting, so yeah, fell into it too. So, speaking of reviews, obviously all 3 of you write reviews, what sort of the process you do? Like, how do you write a good review? How do you write a good feature? What's your sort of process? Donald?
I should wait for this mic to turn on, shouldn't I? It's nothing too special. I just play through the game, taking notes as I go on, just getting a feel for the game, how much fun I'm having, how good how the story's impacting me. Not so much the technical stuff, because really, you can pretty much just sum up graphics for a lot of games nowadays with one word: good or bad. So I just pretty much play through the game, or play as much as I possibly can. There's one game which I wrote a review for, Bit Trip Runner for WiiWare, which I cannot finish because that game is so freaking frustrating. It's like a memory test. But I digress. Anyway, yeah. So after that, I go to the computer, type up my review, condense it down as much as I can, and generally submit it to my editor at Newshit, or memorize the script and present it for level 3. It's nothing spectacular, but hey.
Whatever's there, man. Alice, what's your sort of process?
Yeah, pretty much the same process. Play as much of the game as I can. Sorry, excuse me, I adjust my Madonna mic, because, yeah, awesome. And make notes as I go along, work out the intro, and then it pretty much just kind of happens. Like, you write it when you find it.
Fair enough.
Under stress, you write it as quickly as you can.
That too. Nathan?
I'll generally start the morning in the lotus position until I manage to align my chakras. But then after that, I'll actually just play the hell out of the game, take notes. I mean, look, the key thing is to, I think when you're writing any form of review or any feature article, is to obviously take notes on the game and all that, but then try and figure out what your voice is going to be. And I think that's probably one of the most important parts of doing any particular form of writing is, deciding on a theme, how you want to present it. It doesn't always have to be just the boring, great gameplay, great graphics and that. You can do something a little bit different, have a bit of fun. That's pretty much the process. Just practice lots of writing, I guess.
Wow, that's so much better than me, because I don't take notes when I review anything. It's just, everything is just mental. Like, okay, I think if I look up, I read what people think online, or I look at it again, I'm like, okay, wow, this is, yeah, you get the idea. I don't take notes. I'm like, wow, this is weird. I'm feeling alone now.
What? Sorry? The other thing I should say is it's really easy to fall into the trap of just being snarky because you can.
Well, that's what the internet's for.
Yeah, that's what the internet's for. It's very easy to write a cynical review. It's much harder to write a review that you actually take stuff into account. Which
it is one of the great payoffs of, also great balancing acts. The worst reviews to actually write are for the best games.
Yeah.
The opposite situation's true. The games that you absolutely hate playing, but damn, they're fun to write reviews on.
Exactly. Hey, I write for Nintendo Fan Site. I get a lot of DS shovelware. It is awesome to write. But yeah. So what about formal journalism? I mean, you guys here, have you guys all studied journalism, or do you believe you could just get into the business without really having a form of degree? What do you guys think, Donald?
Well, I think at the moment, it isn't an essential requirement to have a games journalism degree as such, but it kind of helps, since games journalism, I feel it's becoming a bit more than just enthusiast press of just fans writing what they think on paper. Because, yeah, there are already a whole bunch of reviews out there. You need to try and distinguish yourself somehow, whether it be news gathering or feature writing or something like that. I don't have a journalism degree. I have spent many of my business degree electives doing journalism units, and I believe that has helped quite a fair bit in allowing me to write better articles.
All right. Alice?
I didn't go to uni. I just kind of picked it up as I went along. Yeah.
Okay.
I started working full-time out of year 12.
Not bad.
Yeah, that didn't suck. But I would definitely recommend going to uni and getting a degree, especially if you want to go into a newspaper, because while some people get in through the back door, it's so much easier just going in through the front door. Like, it's much easier and a much quicker process, and you have to kill yourself less.
Nathan?
Less.
I'm probably going to echo the same sentiments. I don't have a journalism degree. I've actually got a law degree. During that you spend a lot of time writing and forming cogent, understandable arguments, and I think that's certainly been an assistance. Some form of trained writing practice, I think, is really important, and particularly, as was pointed out earlier, we have moved from being just games enthusiast press. I mean, many of my mentors in the industry have all, been writing for many years, have written for newspapers and all that, and all come from journalist backgrounds. The talent's constantly increasing, and you need to, if you want to be a part of it, you've got to match them, which you can sometimes do without assistance, but I think that extra boost that a degree is going to give you, because as Al said, the backdoor way is certainly the hardest way to get into the industry. You're relying far too much on luck.
The same here. I mean, mostly I just write with, I don't actually have a journalism degree, I just have a media degree, so most of it's just skill, I think, and I'm just being very lucky to get where I am. But anyway. Just
a quick aside, do you guys reckon that, the journalistic skills, good writing skills, do you reckon that can be learned, or is it just something instinctual?
Learning how to structure an article, I think you need to learn, but the actual writing, the actual thing that makes you you, is your voice, and you can't learn that. You already have to have that.
Yeah, if you haven't got the passion to write and you haven't got that already in you, You know, even learning how to structure, you'll write a very well structured article, but it's going to be boring to read. And we are there to entertain as much as we are to inform.
And this is definitely a job that you have to love to do because it is hard. There are a lot of hours, there's not much money.
Not much at all.
Oh, dreams of money. But yeah, like you have to love this job because it will kill you.
All right, fair enough then. So, I mean, all of us sort of have inspirations for, you know, starting to write. I mean, how do you sort of how did you develop your writing style? You know, do you have any sort of writers you sort of take influence from or anything like that? Donald?
Well, I've developed my voice over the past couple of years just through practicing, through writing reviews for here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, when I started off, I kind of had odd inspirations. When I was starting my own personal blog, which I will never, ever, ever, ever divulge to the public, ever.
I'll divulge it afterwards.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will.
Ever. Yeah, I found a lot of inspiration from, a couple of bloggers, such as Marique Hardy. I really liked her writing. Yeah, and some...
No one else are fans? Sorry, no one else likes Marique Hardy? No one?
No. She used to write a column in the Green Guide. Nowadays, and she was a mornings host on Triple J. Now she does Tuesday morning. What's that show called? First Tuesday Book Club.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, but yeah, she has a really unique sort of sense of writing. Just not as probably as far away from mature, sensible as possible, but still downright entertaining to read. So I've found myself trying to strive for that sort of direction. May have tempered myself recently having to write for News Hit as the site itself goes in a more serious direction. But yeah, it's just something that has evolved over many years and will probably continue to evolve into some weird beast I don't want to imagine.
I learned a lot from Jim Shembry. Like, I disagree with most of his opinions, but
damn Skippy.
His writing's just damn good. And I was actually lucky to have him as a mentor for a while, and he's just been great. And these days, I actually learn a lot of my writing, get a lot of my writing ideas from Maureen Johnson, who is a young adult author who's just weird. And
How so?
It's fun.
Sorry, how is she weird exactly?
Go to her Twitter, and you'll see why. She's just weird.
Do you can you divulge the address?
Maureen Johnson. Like, that's it. Like,
simple.
On Twitter. Yeah, do it. It's fun. It's good to follow.
I was pretty lucky. I was a big PC Powerplay reader before I started writing for them, so most of my inspiration, I was very fortunate when I came on board to work with people like David Wildgoose, Anthony Fordham, Elliot Fish, and Daniel Staines. And those guys were always the guys that I was reading obsessively when I was younger and dreaming of the chance to write. Beyond those, I'd say Kieran Gillen. I'm a huge fan of his writing, although he's now doing comic books, I believe, writing for Thor.
Something like that. I should have done my research exactly. I haven't got really anything to say much about this because everything really has been said. Just keep writing, keep at it. You'll learn new techniques. You'll learn all these new things. As for influences, well, I'd like to say I have none, but I really can't think of anyone at the moment. So, yeah.
And I would like to add Stephen Totilo. I kind of like his writing as well.
Really?
For Kotaku. He has
his MTV stuff. I want to say the Kotaku stuff, but more the MTV stuff is really good.
No, he's brought some of that quality over to Kotaku, even if it is occasionally diluted with the one-image articles that they tend to publish.
It is Kotaku too, just saying.
But yeah, I know I'm reading a Stephen Totilo article without even having to read the byline.
All right, fair enough. You guys have been in the business of writing articles and reviews for a while now. What's your favourite? What's in relevance to that? What's been your favourite experience while writing? So, Donald?
Probably the last week of the final episode of Single Player that I did about mid-June last year. Just everything in the pre-production for that episode went really smoothly. The news that week was actually newsworthy. The review that I wrote for Fight Night Round 4 was just, I did that in one sitting, and this is despite the fact that my Xbox 360 red ringed during that particular review, which is why I hate Fight Night Round 4 now. Good game otherwise, but it broke my Xbox. I also had Jason O'Callaghan, level 3's Jason O'Callaghan, for an interview, and it all just went really well. A really great way to send off Single Player.
All right.
The article that I'm probably proudest of was one that I did 3 years ago, and don't judge me for this, but it was on Grey's Anatomy and why it works. So
we have some fans in the house.
Nice, thank you.
Couple of dudes as well.
Yeah. Just because I was really proud of the way I structured it and how I actually managed to get it down from my original 2,500 word story into an 800 word story. That's always a good time.
How do you do that?
you just have to be really ruthless. And like, I love this paragraph, but it doesn't work cut. Like that, it hurts. But, and my favorite experience of being a journalist is quite a few, but it's probably early this year I interviewed Deechan Luckman and Enver Joker from Dollhouse. Yeah, Dollhouse, because Joss Whedon is awesome, man. But yeah. Woo. But yeah, it was a really easy interview. We just sat down and had tea and came out, and then writing that 400-word article after that really great interview, that was hard, but the interview was totally worth it.
Fair enough.
For me, look, probably the greatest experience was receiving that first game to review when it popped in the mail.
What was it, if you don't mind me asking?
It was a horrible piece of work called Breed. The subhead for the article was, "Dear Lord, please don't." It was the worst Halo attempt knockoff. It was absolutely woeful. But in terms of my favourite sort of bit of writing I've done would have to have been my Dragon Age review, which I did earlier this year. Thank you very much, Lee. I haven't done anything. It was a bit weird because I was doing inserted bits of narrative into the article, which I've never done before, and it was a little bit scary to see it hit print, but I got a good feedback from the people who read it, so I was pretty happy, but we're under the thumb for that one because EA got us the game late.
How tempted are you to do these sort of gimmick reviews anyways, to add narratives or to...
I'm too much of a pansy, so I'm generally not very tempted. It was just in this situation because we were so late based on the online reviews, it was like, you've got to make this something really special, and I'm like, oh, I don't need that. But anyway, it came off, apparently.
All right, I did a review for Aussie Nintendo for a game called The Clarke Diss and Makeup. It is an absolutely terrible game. I just had so much fun just rewriting, because that's when I learned that, you can make a really fun experience out of writing for a really bad game. And yeah, as for favourite experience, I have to say probably the first time I went to a publisher, actually, when I got invited to go down to see all this new stuff, got to meet, PR people, other journos. A really fun experience and something which I'm going to hold on to for quite a while. I won't say who the publisher is, but they know who they are because they're awesome. Yeah, I can't think of anything else, so let's just go to the next question here. So obviously you guys have been in the business for a while. I mean, has it been anything you really wanted to cover, like before you sort of leave the business? Is there anything you really want to do, like your dream article, if you will?
I haven't thought that far ahead, I have to say, but I do want to just do a mind-blowing, have my name attached to a mind-blowing feature article, something like I can't think of any at the moment. Tracy Lian recently did an investigative article behind the closure of Red Ant Studio. She used to be Ray from Good Game, if that's a point of reference that you guys need. Yeah, but it ended up winning her an award from the Walkley Foundation for like young media young writer of the year award or something like that.
It was an awesome piece.
Yeah,
I want you to
go. If you haven't seen it, go look for it. It's really good.
I think Kotaku's got it up at the moment.
Yeah, the rise and fall of Red Ant or something. Well, just look up Tracy Land's blog. It's on there. But it's a damn fine piece of writing, and I want to try and have something like that attached with my name.
All right, Alice?
As far as games articles go, there's one that I really want to do, and I'm doing it later on this year. And so I can't say much about it, but keep an eye out around October, because it's going to be awesome. But as far as general journalism goes, I'd love to interview Joss Whedon and have a nice double page. Yes, okay, I'm going back there again, sorry. But yeah,
if you haven't figured it out already, Alice is a really big Joss Whedon fan.
Yeah,
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Who isn't? Come on, we're nerds. We love Joss Whedon. It's either Joss Whedon or J.J. Abrams. You have to be on one team.
All right. Nathan? Alice, do you want to continue, Alice, or are you done? Or...
No, you can continue.
All right, Nathan?
I would love to be able to finally say yes to one of the overseas trips I'm occasionally offered to interview a developer. I do work another job, and I've had to turn down interviews with Sidmere. I've had to turn down popping along to the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. I've had to turn down Ubisoft Montreal. It hurts so much. But yeah, that would be my dream. I really want to actually manage to say yes one day to those.
Fair enough. Wow, that's something. I guess my one would probably be like, I would very much like to go to E3 and cover in some capacity. I know it's
Of course, that too.
I mean, everyone would want to, but it's something which I think this year was made really approachable, and, you know, I reckon I could have done it. But, you know, it's something I want to do before I...
You say this now, but when you do, you'll probably end up just regretting the whole experience.
Yeah, probably, because it's going to cost me God knows how much to actually get in there, stay somewhere, and, you know, just be disappointed upon an epic... Sorry? Yeah, and I would like to see...
That's why they invented the internet.
Yes, I'll take pictures of booth babes. You know, that completes the experience. All right, what else do we have here? So, Alice, I think you can pretty much answer this question already, but if you guys weren't writing about video games, what would you be doing right about now? What would you be writing about, or would you even be in journalism?
I would be writing about TV,
Fair enough.
because I love it.
Television, really. In fact, that's the original pitch I went to the breakfast show on Sin for before I discovered there was already a TV dude there. So, video games.
I wouldn't be writing at all. I'd be doing my boring 9-to-5 marketing job.
Okay, fair enough.
Well,
Probably TV or movies for me. I mean, movies in particular because I'm such a big cinemaphile. It's not funny, so I'd probably be really big into that, you know. Probably wouldn't, cinemaphile because I love movies. Yeah, you guys love talking. That's awesome. So obviously, all four of us, I should say, are Aussie journalists. I mean, what's your opinion about being a games writer in Australia? You know, compared to a lot of the big outlets, you know, we get stuff late. You know, coverage is always kind of hard for us to get. You know, opinions. Go.
We are so far away from all the action. Everything happens in America. All the developers are based in there or Europe or somewhere like that. They've got E3. We have E-games. And there's two.
Oh yeah, that too. Can't forget about computer games.
Yeah, although we do have a couple of them good studios based in Australia, like Infinitive Interactive,
2K.
2K. And I'm sure there are a couple of people in here, in this very room, who will go on to form some awesome studios. But right now, the Australian scene is sort of sparse. We seem to borrow all of our news, everything from America. I have a joke that we should call, on our podcast, we should call our news section the best of Kotaku.
Yes, you said that. We mentioned it.
It just makes it tough getting games. Like, everybody already knows about the game that you're reviewing. Nobody cares by the time your review actually comes out. So that kind of sucks a bit, but it works.
And I've got to throw in the troubles of being Melbourne-based and in this industry.
Oh, yes. We should probably bring that up as well, since all of us are Melbourne-based, and you know, all the media, all the big media's in Sydney. So hate those guys. Hate you guys. Just
or
saying.
Brisbane.
It's not even like it's a good city.
No, Brisbane's all right.
Brisbane's fine.
Brisbane's fine. Yeah, Brisbane's fine. Sydney is. Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah, you get an event invitation and you go, oh my god, this would be awesome, and then you scroll down to the location. Oh, it's.
I still haven't met my editor face to face. I met my first editor face to face 3 years after he started writing for the magazine.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All the more better then, isn't it?
Sorry?
All the more better then, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. We can just have a beer and he doesn't yell at me.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the fun part, trying to get all the Australian news, because I mean, that's something we're meant to be good at. I mean, there's some news coming out of this country. Some news. I mean, it's not amazing.
Our PM's a redhead.
Sorry?
Our PM's a redhead. There's some news coming out.
Yes, that is. Sorry? Yes, thank you. No, I've seen an even better one. I should probably put it in our Facebook group. Julia Gillard skateboarding. It's the greatest thing ever made. I need a link to that. It's really awesome. All right. Now, actually, Nathan, I wanted to ask you something actually kind of interesting, because you mentioned you have a 9-to-5 job, and you're also a freelancer for PC Powerplay.
Yes.
How do you juggle feature writing with, you know, your 9-to-5 job?
I often have to tell my friends I can't go out because I've got to play computer games, which sounds really bad. No, it comes down, as we were saying before, it's a dream job in terms of it's great fun, but it is a lot of work, and you need to be passionate about it. If you're passionate about it, you find the time. I have a lot of late nights. A lot of reviews get submitted at 4 in the morning. You just kind of deal with having to pay that price for the privilege of, you know, being in the industry, getting to write about games. You know, it's too much fun to really whinge too much about the late nights.
Fair enough. And given the fact you're actually a really great feature writer. I mean, you've done some articles about Looking Glass Studios, the guys who could get the Thief games, and a whole bunch, and System Shock. I can't forget about that. Also did one recently about piracy, I believe.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So out of your opinion, what do you think makes a good feature article?
I think that a couple of things. I mean, the first is you need to know your audience. Writing the Looking Glass article was a no-brainer for PC Powerplay readers. If you read our magazine, you will no doubt be a fan of the Thief franchise, you'll be a fan of all the stuff that Looking Glass has done in their time. So knowing your audience and knowing what they're actually interested in. We got a lot of good feedback over that article because everyone loved Looking Glass.
Exactly.
But I think beyond sort of knowing your audience is just trying to think of something an angle that hasn't been taken before. So the piracy article, we've talked about, Ubisoft's DRM system, boo, and we've covered that so many times in the magazine, so we tried to take a different angle with it, which was, why do people pirate? So doing something a little bit different and trying not to retread the same ground that's been published in every publication going around. People aren't interested in reading the same stuff 10 times.
Fair enough then. So, I mean, so obviously you're writing for PC Powerplay. I mean, do you feel that, have you ever written for a console audience?
I will, my first console review...
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. My first console review will be appearing in the pages of Hyper in 2 issues' time, I think.
Awesome.
No, I haven't written for a console audience before.
Okay, because the next question here about, is there like any major sort of difference between writing for a PC audience or a console audience? So.
Look, I will say there is, because with the PC audience, you tend to be talking to a much more dedicated group of people just because of the costs that are involved in maintaining a gaming PC and so on. They tend to want less of a flippant approach. Just sort of gathering from my experiences, and want a little bit more detail. But that's not to say that PC writing's got to be smarter than console writing, far from it.
Sorry? One question now. All right, so apparently I'm being told we're going to do some Q&A. Sorry, guys. So let's do some Q&A. You got any questions? Raise your hands.
Still going to have to do the mic.
Right. Yeah, mate. Yeah, really intelligent, much I know.
Yeah, what's called? What's all your favourite games? Like, yeah.
Favourite games?
Yeah.
Arcanum.
Do you have a favourite game?
Arcanum.
I go for more the Guitar Hero games just because they're fun.
They're great, but
Yeah.
I have to, as a critic, Beyond Good and Evil is just a whole great game altogether. But as a walking id, Time Crisis 2, I have plugged so many hours into that. I think every day after high school in year 8, I went to the time zone that used to be in Swanston Street where that sushi shop is now, and I just played the hell out of that game. I could probably muscle memory that thing, actually. I think there's a question up front whilst I'm here. You said?
What about Nathan?
How long should a good review be? How long should a good review be? Like
word
Really,
counts.
it depends on where you're writing for and who your audience is. With Sunday Herald Sun, we've got very, very limited space, and so all my reviews can only be 300 words. And I'll try and sneak like an extra 100 in, but sometimes it just doesn't make it.
It is. I think the key is that no matter how much writing space you're given, is to be as concise as possible. Really. Look, this is a quote that's been misattributed to a whole number of different people from Mark Twain going on, but basically it's a comment saying, I'm sorry that this letter is so long, had I more time it would be much shorter, or something to that effect. And that's really the key to writing. It is much harder to write a short review than it is to write a long one. The best length for a review is short enough to cover off on all the essentials and leave the writer feeling informed.
Every word has to earn its place.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a two-part question. Do you get given free games? And if you do you get to keep them?
Yes and yes. Like every week a new box comes and it's awesome.
Perks are great.
Jamie, I think you should explain the scenario we have over at level 3.
Sorry, what was that?
In terms of free games, what we get?
We get stuff. What do you want me to explain? I mean, we get free stuff, so it's awesome. Hang on, I'm sorry, I should find someone else to ask a question to, so talk amongst yourselves for a second. There you go, hang on, got to do it over here.
Do you have to do well? Do you have to do well in English for like this sort of job?
It's definitely going to be a help.
Yeah, you're going to need to be good at English.
Yeah.
Like you're not necessarily the subject at school, but you need to be good at the actual writing part.
Being able to
I sucked
formulate
at
an
school.
argument,
Yeah.
do it concisely and clearly. That's key, and that's usually a result of good English skills.
Yeah.
This one's for Alice. Have you been on the Buffy? No, the Einstein factor before?
Yes, I have.
I knew it.
That was quick.
Jamie, there's one at the front here.
All right, hang on. It's what I do best.
How much does a job like this pay?
Bugger all.
I have lost more money doing the 21 weeks of single player than I have doing anything else. Screw you, Sin. Actually, no, Sin's a great station. Listen to it. 90.7 FM is where it's at.
Nathan, anything to add to that?
Yeah, look, it's as I said, it's not a great paying job. Usually, in my case, I get paid by the basis. I won't go into exactly what my pay rate is, but it's you would be earning on an hourly basis. You're earning less than minimum wage.
Pretty much.
Easy. When you take into account the time you've got to play the game and all that, and you don't mind doing that because you're playing a game, but still.
TV journalism pays so much more than games journalism.
Yeah, there's not much.
Noted. I'll go into that next. Thanks a lot.
Sorry to exclude the rest of you, but Nathan, did you ever meet Dan Staines in the Total Gamer crew?
I have met, no, never met Dan Staines. I've met Daniel Wilkes, but outside of that, I only met David Wildgoose and, yeah, Daniel Wilkes.
All right.
Behind you.
Behind me.
Behind you.
This one's just for Alice. You write for the Sunday Herald Sun, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so I actually have one of your reviews on my bedroom wall.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
I use it as a dartboard, actually.
Good, good. I'm going to guess Monster Hunter?
Yes, the Monster Hunter review.
Figured.
How much did you... Now, this is... I got the same problem when Yahtzee reviewed this, and it isn't a criticism of you necessarily, but how much of the game did you actually get to play in the time you had to review it?
I got it Tuesday. The review was due 9 a.m. Thursday. I got a good 6 to 10 hours out of it.
It did show in the review a bit.
Yeah, but
oh wow.
We have a very, very quick turnover. There's only so much you can play in so much time.
Anyone else? No one? Hang on, I think it's got one dude. Your hands up, mate?
Okay.
All right. I think we'll get one more in. I'll try. Stand up, mate.
All right. After playing so many games, would you say you would be on the level of a pro gamer by now?
Not even a little bit.
If you ever want to have a laugh, play a games journalist.
Yeah.
We're not that good. You play too many games, you can't sit down and focus on a single... I mean, there's one or two, I know for PC Powerplay, Daniel Hinders is just an absolute gun TF2 player, like best spy you will ever play. But for the most part, we play too many games, don't have the time to focus on one to become anywhere near pro. Anywhere near.
Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, I could probably kick your ass at Guitar Hero or Rock Band, but other than that, you will kill me. Like, a lot. Yeah, okay. I accept.
You do realise now you're going to have to sort of, you know, own up on that, right?
Yeah, I was hoping that you didn't have Guitar Hero here.
Oh, we have Guitar Hero here.
Yeah. Guitar Hero Van Halen is sitting somewhere in the back.
Oh, God,
we
Van
had, like,
Halen, just kill me now.
Quick aside. I think it was on Saturday night. We had like a Rock Band set up all on this big screen over here. It was awesome.
Nice.
We needed so. Sorry? You suck.
You sung all right.
Oh, you sung. All right. Okay, let's go back to some actual questions from me and Donald. So let's actually start talking about Alice now because we've given Nathan some fair questions. Let's give Alice some questions now.
Okay.
So I'm out of curiosity. The Herald Sun is noted for writing a lot of sort of articles about, say, anti-gaming, effectively. Like, you know, how gaming is, you know, violent and, you know, causes all these problems, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you've heard the spiel. Do you feel a sense of disconnect when the Herald Sun is publishing this stuff and here you are talking positively about video games?
It does suck a little bit, but the editor of the paper, we recently revamped our play and TV guide sections, and the main thing that he kept on stressing was that he wanted games to be at the forefront. He wanted lots of games and lots of space and good game reviews, which some of that didn't happen. But so I know that gaming's important to the paper, and they'll say stuff in the front to sell papers and scare people, but they'll also have some good reviews in the middle.
Fair enough. So speaking of sort of your whole new direction with the play section, I mean, are you fighting with your editors for pages in the entertainment lift out?
What?
Are you fighting for sort of more words or more space? Are you constantly arguing? Really?
Not constantly. Every week I have space for 2 reviews in a column, and I'll write that. But pretty much the thing with print journalism is you will craft this little review or this little article that you love dearly, and then you will release it to your editor. And what you read in the paper that week will sometimes look like what you submitted, and sometimes will just be completely
Can you give
different.
any examples?
Let's think.
Hang on, guys. Can you keep it down, please? Thanks. Sorry.
Okay, probably my most heartbreaking one was I did this interview with Paulie Perrette from NCIS.
Oh, goodness.
Which, yeah, I hate the show, but Paulie is awesome. Great interview.
So I hear.
I wrote it, I was really, really proud of this little review that I wrote, so the little interview, and it was really great, and I submitted it. I read it in the paper that weekend, and like they just cut random paragraphs in the middle, so it didn't make as much sense, and taken all the soul out of it, which is fair, because I did go slightly over my limit, but still.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, and I've got one more for you. So since you're a newspaper writer, sort of walk us through sort of a week of what it's like to sort of prep for a game review, like production meetings, that kind of thing. So what's sort of the process like for you exactly in sort of meeting with people?
Well, as a Sunday paper, pretty much generally Sunday papers work Tuesday through Saturday, but on a Monday I'll call up my editor. We'll discuss what reviews are going in that week, whether or not we're going to have a feature, say on laptop accessories or something. We'll work out what we're going to have, find out if we've actually received the games that week yet, because sometimes it takes a little while.
That is very true.
Yeah, it's very true. And Tuesday and Wednesday I'll play the games. 9 a.m. Thursday I'll submit copy and pictures and everything, and then the rest of the day is spent saying, did you mean to write that? Yes, I really did. Did you really? Yes, I did. Did you spell that? Yes, I did. And then also, interspersed with that, I've got all my TV guide work, and I've got stuff I write for other magazines and things like that.
Fair enough. All right, let's give Donald some questions now. Donald, go to the forefront. Come on. So first off, you mentioned you actually had a radio show, Single Player, which I was on, and it was awesome. So what sort of possessed you to sort of do that?
Sheer, utter madness. I think it's like it was a couple of days before the the deadline was due for program submissions. I wanted to do a program, but I couldn't find anyone else I knew who were gamers who wanted to do a radio program about the video games. So here I was for 21 weeks doing a program all by myself, sourcing and writing all the news, playing and reviewing all the games, writing opinions and features and all that, and selecting music as well, which was kind of a fun part. But yeah, it was. Now that I look back on it, it was sheer, utter madness which drove me to do it. Yet I do not regret a single minute of it.
Fair enough. Now, we'll give you one more little question. I think we've got to start wrapping this up. Is presenting for Level 3, presenting for Single Player, and presenting for Newshit, or writing for Newshit, I should say. Which one of those three mediums do you feel the most comfortable in, and why?
I kind of like doing all three. They all present their own different challenges. Radio, you have to do that. You have to present the intimacy with the listener, since it is you are essentially talking to them. Television, well, dude, you're on television. Channel 31.
Not that bad.
Yeah, on Channel 31. Yeah, 9:30 Thursday nights on Channel 31. Level 3, shameless plug, ahoy. And writing for Newshit as well. It gives me, allows me to do writery craft a quality piece of writing. But ultimately, I'd say I like radio because it's probably because it was the first thing that I did. I can't think of a better reason why I like radio over the other two.
Because you spend a lot of time working and crafting the podcast and everything else we do.
And also, I like listening to podcasts as well.
Fair enough. All right, I think that's just about it for all of us. So I'd like to so guys, give them a clap, give them a... Fair enough. It's a good issue. So, speaking of, actually, I do know the PC Powerplay issue. Can you raise it up again? Come on, you know how to come on, raise it up.
So you know to the class, yay.
Did you do anything for that one, Nathan? Can you recall?
It's the Witcher 2 bit. I just remember wishing that I'd got that article. I do love The Witcher. I can't recall what I wrote in that one. I have got stuff in there. I just can't remember what.
And that's the most recent one.
Okay, I know there's a piracy article in there.
Yeah, written by some hacker.
And I talk about Minsk.
Fair enough.
Do you have any last questions from the crowd? Anyone raise your hands? Jamie, chase them.
I think we'll take one more. I think that's got to be it. So make this one absolute count, mate.
Hey guys, I've read and listened to most of you review things and it's been great. First off, I want to ask, do you find any pressure when reviewing AAA titles? Because there's a wider range of audience, say Modern Warfare 2 coming out. Did you find that there was a lot of, expectations that you from your workers or your peers to review the game good?
I think there is a big, and this is a really good question and one that's good to clarify. There is a big misnomer out there, and it's due to little mess-ups like the firing of, and I've forgotten his name from
Jeff Gerstmann.
Jeff Gerstmann from GameSpot over the whole, well, allegedly over the whole Kane and Lynch thing. That it really doesn't happen. A lot of people will moan when they see a bad review for a game they like or a really good review for a game they don't like and say, oh my God, they're biased, the publisher's bought them out, they've done this. I have never had any editorial pressure. But you do get some pressure with the AAA title, and that is that you know it's a AAA title and you've got to give the best review that you possibly can because people are really caring about what you've got to say about it this time around. If you're just reviewing some middling little game, it doesn't matter so much. But AAA, you do feel the pressure to put out a good review, not in terms of give it a good score, but give a quality review.
Right. Alice, ever had that pressure?
Yeah, there's definitely pressure to write the review well, but I don't get any pressure to give a good opinion. Like, if I hate something, I will say it, and usually 90% of gamers will disagree with me, which is fun in the street. and on Monday, when Nintendo calls you up and say, why did you say that about Monster Hunter? Yeah.
That has actually happened to you?
It was slightly awkward when I reviewed Monster Hunter. I forgot I was actually having lunch with Nintendo the next day.
That's always fun.
But no, they're very good about it, though. Like, you
Totally.
don't get people yelling. Like, the Nintendo, like, publicity there is great, guys.
Fair enough. And Donald, close this off, man.
Well, I don't, like everyone has iterated, it's kind of easy just to keep on following the game news and to try and fall into the hype that that PR are trying to build for their AAA game. So when the game actually comes out, it's not hard to, but there's a sort of element where you have to try and ignore all the hype, the expectations that you have for this game, and just deliver an honest review. And that's will probably be more valuable than any amount of Metacritic crowd following that you could possibly do.
Fair enough.
So, I think my first review that I did as a game journalist, like my first ever game review, was Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
wow.
There's a bag of pressure
Good
on you there.
start.
Luckily, I liked it, so that was
Good
Yeah.
for you. Wow. Imagine what would happen if you actually didn't like that.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it, guys. So, again, give these guys a round of applause. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And now it's time for something... Brad, you want to take over?